All right, thank you for tuning in here and welcome. I'm going to do a presentation about Tier 1 Executive Search to give you a better idea of our capabilities, processes, and successes. And I'm just going to select a laser pointer here if you can bear with me. Let's see. There we go. All right. So here we go. Some of the general background information here. We were established in Detroit, the Global Automotive Center, in 2002. And we're a small firm committed to serving a specialized niche market. Originally, that's what we started out doing, is placing in primarily in the automotive industry. And it still remains a good portion of our business. However, at this point, we've expanded into a lot of other manufacturing areas: heavy industry, general manufacturing, consumer electronics, chemicals. Basically, our client companies, for the most part, about 90% of our client companies manufacture something. The other 10% would be service provider companies that provide a service into manufacturing organizations. So sometimes we do some work for software companies, market research companies, or industry consulting type companies. But generally speaking, our client companies are manufacturing companies ranging in annual revenues from 50 million up to 50 billion US dollars annually. We, however, are still a small boutique firm, and our annual revenues are less than 3 million US. Most of our customers are North American or European based. However, 50% of our searches that we conduct are for positions which are based in Asia. And of those, about 80%, well, 75 to 80% would be based in mainland China. And then the remainder would be in other parts of Asia Pacific and also Southeast Asia. And then 40% of our overall positions or searches would be for positions based in North America, including Mexico. We do quite a bit down in Mexico. Okay, and so our global reach here, basically we have an office in Detroit, Michigan in the USA, and then also in Windsor in Canada. Also in 2004, we opened an office in Shanghai in the People's Republic of China, basically to support what at the time was a exploding market in terms of manufacturing companies over in mainland China. And then we also have a couple other important pieces here. We have our global research is managed out of Windsor in Canada, but we also have a transplanted American down in Mexico who does research for us and manages a team of a couple of Mexican nationals down there. But they do research for searches around the globe for us, and it's quite a Yes, and so Tier 1 Executive Search, our talent or our mission statement basically is to seek out, attract, and secure the absolute best talent for our client companies in the global manufacturing and automotive industries. In terms of our expertise, you can see here that basically our client companies, 35% would be in automotive manufacturing. That's broken up between actual automotive manufacturers, automotive parts and systems suppliers, and then some support companies there. In general manufacturing, so we have client companies that are in building products, consumer electronics, consumer goods, pharma, medical devices. We also have some good client companies in the electronics and chemical industries. And then we have we've done some work with what we would call heavy industry clients, so pulp and paper, some forestry, some steel, also mining, that kind of thing. Within those client companies, so we place generally, we're working vertically within sales and marketing, so that could be vice president of sales or kind of down to mid-management level, but vertically up to the C-suite. And then we also do within manufacturing operations. In the operations, we do manufacturing, quality, finance, purchasing, human resources, engineering, up to C-level. We do a lot of kind of non-board director level, vice president level, EVP level, but then in the rare occasion we will do a board position. And then we also have a global in-house legal practice, and so we place corporate counsels within manufacturing companies. So again, we're not placing lawyers at private practice law firms. We are placing in-house corporate attorneys and legal professionals within these manufacturing companies. So we do a lot with intellectual property, so patent attorneys, trademark, etc., and then some contracts and compliance, general commercial law and litigation, etc., and then we're placing general counsels, assistant general counsels. And that is a global practice, so we do that around the world. And again, so we do have the Asia Pacific kind of region and mainland China, Greater China, including Hong Kong, Taiwan, etc. But we also have Southeast Asia, so I can think of several client companies that have facilities for whom we've made leadership placements in the Philippines. We also have some client companies that have operations in Thailand, Vietnam, etc. And so in terms of our search process, once it's decided that we're partnering with one of our client companies for search and we've got a contract set up, we basically go into a kickoff meeting where we do a full needs analysis. So this is to understand all of the issues that might be occurring and the reasons why they're looking to hire someone. So a lot of times our client companies are hiring because of either a company trend or an industry trend. It's created some sort of problem that they're trying to solve or an opportunity that they might want to seize. We have to understand the reporting structure, the key relationships, company culture, what are the goals in hiring for the position, any challenges this person might be facing coming in, etc., right on through down to the company details, the selling points. So basically this is why would someone want to resign from their current company and come to work for our client company, and that's an important piece of the process here. Then we're moving over to developing the search plan. So this is where we identify all the organizations and people within those organizations that might be qualified to do the job. So that gets communicated to our research team. Our researchers' first line of attack obviously is to go to our warm contacts, people that are known to us in our network. So we go to our internal databases, and then the next step would be to go to our external subscription data sources. We also have a proprietary research tool, which I'll show you a little bit about here in a couple slides coming up here. And then all of that information gets aggregated into a format, usable format, so that we can go out and contact all of these candidates in the marketplace that could potentially do this job. And then we're qualifying them, selecting them, presenting to the client company, and then we're helping to facilitate the client company internal interview process and assessment, prepping, debriefing all along the way, and then right on through to negotiating the compensation, and right through to the offer being signed off on, closing it out, candidate acceptance, and then having that candidate helping them transition out of their current situation. So some important points here. We have a process that has worked very well for us for over a decade, and we remain true to that process. So we stick very tightly to that process. Another point here, our annual internal research tool spend was greater than $178,000 US last year, and so that means that we put a very high value on the research function at our firm. So keep in mind, this is just a research tool spend, that is not head count. one of the things is that for our mainland China business, we also have a segregated database where we house uh, candidates who are based, local Chinese candidates based in mainland China, or actually I should say Greater China. And so we have the capability to search by organization, so the type of entity, so is the company a joint venture? What's the percentage of joint venture ownership? Who's the joint venture partner? Is it a wholly owned foreign entity, etc. Also the company, so what kind of product processes do they have? We can search by location, province, city, etc. And then, of course, the title, function, etc. Within the company. Now, this is something I wanted to share with you here. This is actually our proprietary research tool. It was developed by a recruiter here whose husband happens to be a software developer. And what this allows us to do, it allows our researchers to backdoor and search multiple professional networks, social networks, organizations, company sites, biographies, news releases, etc., simultaneously with one tool. So it's an interesting software code. It's been written so on the back end. This is designed for our profession and for exactly what we're trying to accomplish, which is to uncover talent out there for initial contact. So basically, you can see here in this first example, I'm under Find People, and I typed in some simple keywords here: Senior Account Manager, Chrysler. So what this does, and here we're under Networks. And so under Networks, it's searching different business networks, Plaxo, Lead 411, Spoke, Jigsaw, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, all of these different types of networks. But it knows that we're looking for people within a certain discipline, etc. And so this first example here, this result came back. This person is an account manager at an automotive supplier who is also responsible in some way for Chrysler, I think. And so if that person was appropriate to the search, she would then be bookmarked to the project. Now, the other thing here, we're still within our research tool, but we've gone over from networks to profiles. And so what this does is it's looking at the back end of the software. The software knows that we're looking for keywords such as executive team, meet our team, biographies, leadership team, those types of things that are in close proximity with the words that we have outlined up here. So in this case, we just used Johnson Controls, Vice President Asia. Now keep in mind, this is an example. We don't want any hate mail. We don't want any nasty phone calls here. We are not trying to recruit anyone out of Johnson Controls. This is public information. We're just using this as an example. So we can see here that according to johnsoncontrols.com in this first example, they identify Xu Yang as their Vice President General Manager for Power Solutions Asia. So if this particular person was appropriate for the search, they would then be bookmarked to that search. Again, here's another example. We've now gone over from Find People over to Target a Website. This is also, it can deep dive into different competitor company websites. So let's say we were trying to recruit someone out of marketing out of Apple. Bear with me here, and please no hate mail again. I'm using apple.com as a simple example, and the keyword marketing, we're not actually trying to recruit anyone out of apple.com, but for demonstration purposes, you can see that in this first example, it's pulled up a press release. So it says a team of Apple executives led by Philip Schiller, president of Worldwide Product Marketing. So if this person was appropriate for a search we were doing, they would then be bookmarked. All right, and so then we would go to the next step would be after we've gone to our internal database, our proprietary research tool. We would then go to some subscription-based research tools. These allow us to drill down to create a list of company executives and senior management. We can go by, industry, market segment, product, size of the company, public or private, and then by function and title within those companies. So some of our subscription source type results would look similar to this, just first name, last name, title, company, address, email, phone number, etc. And then what happens is within our research function, all of that information then gets aggregated onto a final call plan. So then the researchers will actually go through and call everyone on the call plan. And so what happens here is that they're verifying that that person is still at the company in that title, in that position. So now this information gets handed over to a consultant. They would actually then go through, reach out, and make a presentation about the opportunity. But as they're doing that, now we can see how the information was verified, so that the consultant now knows that this person was in that position at this company, as of 48 hours ago. So now we have first name, last name, title, company, phone number, email address. If there's any kind of online biography or something, that would be included. And I also want to show you just our internal business system software. This is a software that we use here. It is industry or profession specific, so it's designed for people in the executive search industry. It's made by a company out of Cleveland, Ohio. They're called Main Sequence Technologies. They do an excellent job. It's a robust software with unmatched features, in my opinion, but it's called PC Recruiter. I am not a paid spokesmodel for the software, just to let you know. So here are some of the things. This is where we keep all of our client company information, our candidates and client names and files and notes, all of our positions and searches that we're currently working on, all of the activities, interviews associated with that, schedules, different things. Some of the functional highlights here again would be that under position management, so this is where we would house our all of our needs analysis notes, our job description, a pipeline of candidates, all of the details and notes, prepping, debriefing notes for each interview with respect to that search and with each candidate. Now we also have the ability to search within the database, so we can pull up people in our own database with keywords that appear anywhere on their resume, notes, title, function. We can also custom classify and keyword those candidates. We can also filter it down by their location or their degree type or compensation level, that kind of thing. The other thing is that we have some custom classification tools within the software. So we call one example of that our roll-up lists. So this is where we can actually assign a candidate or put them onto a roll-up list or multiple roll-up lists. So I'll give you an example of that. So let's say that we are working with a patent attorney that happens to be based in Boston, Massachusetts. So they are a candidate patent attorney. They're working in Boston for a Boston-based company. They might appear on a patent attorney USA roll-up list, but then they also might be on a patent attorney Northeast US roll-up list, and then they also might be on a patent attorney Boston list, and then even they might also be on a patent attorney with a mechanical engineering degree list, depending on their qualifications. So we can work that any way we want. All right, so again, our process in brief, we have a client needs analysis. We move into that search plan development. We communicate that information to the researchers in terms of the types of organizations and people that we're targeting. The researchers come back with a kind of final call plan development. That's given to a consultant. The consultant then reaches out to every candidate with a presentation about the opportunity. They move through qualifying and selecting candidates and then present the best candidates to our client companies and then facilitate the internal client company interview process right through to negotiation of the compensation, having the candidate sign off and accept the offer right through, and then helping that candidate transition out of their current situation, resign, and then start with our client company. And so in terms of our service fee structure, if you've ever worked with an executive search firm in the past, you know that there are a couple of different models in our industry. So generally speaking, you might have a fully retained search. This means that it is under contract. There's exclusivity. You are working with that firm to help find the best person out in the marketplace, and there is a financial commitment up front. Generally how that works is there will be a service fee. A third of that fee will be paid to initiate the search. The second third of that fee would be paid after a milestone. Let's say a short list of candidates is presented, then you would then pay the firm the second third of the fee, and then the third third of the fee would be paid after another milestone or a period of time. So 100% of the fee is owed whether or not you actually hire the person that you're hoping to hire or not, but there's not much flexibility there, but it's a good option in a lot of cases. The other end of the spectrum is a fully contingent search, and so this is where you do not pay the search firm at all unless you happen to hire a candidate that they have referred to you. So there's no commitment. The good thing is there's no money exchanged on the client company end, so they don't have to invest any money, but there's no commitment by the search firm. There's no resources allocated by the search firm. There's no accountability, no reporting, etc., and basically no priority given. So we can't very well work on searches for free when we have searches where our client companies are paying us. So that doesn't make sense for us to do that. So it goes way down the list in terms of priority. So we have what's called it's kind of a hybrid model. And so basically we charge a deposit or an engagement fee up front to start the search, and then that secures our commitment and accountability. We treat it like a retained search, but also leaves the door open in case there's some internal candidate options, etc. And then once you have the person hired and on board, they've started with the company, we would bill you the total service fee less the deposit. And so for positions in North America, we're basically working 25% of the first year's fixed compensation. And for positions outside of the U.S., which for the most part is Asia or Asia Pacific, mainland China, we are working at 30% of the first year's fixed. A couple of case studies here. So this was a client of ours, $14 million manufacturing company. We placed their director of operations for 6 facilities in North America. And so in week 1, we discussed the position and drafted a contract, which was then executed. And then in week 2, we were able to conduct the full needs analysis. By week 3, we had finished the search plan, and also the researchers were working on finalizing the final call plans. And then by week 4, 5, 6, we were 7, 8, able to complete first and second interviews, have the person sign off and give 2 weeks notice, and had the candidate on board for that particular search in 11 weeks, which is a pretty tight. Another example here, a large multinational manufacturer based in Cleveland, Ohio. We placed the business planning and development manager for Asia. And so in week 1, we discussed that position, drafted the contract, similar timeline here, except that interviews kind of went out. There was a little bit more research here to do. We had to go back and do a little bit more research, and then we're able to complete second interviews by week 12. And then in Asia, a lot of times you'll notice that candidates would like to give 8 to 12 weeks notice with their current employer upon resignation. And so we were able to negotiate that down to 4 weeks, and we had the candidate who started by week 16. Another similar search here. This is a Vice President General Counsel for China, which was also based in Shanghai, reporting back to North America to Executive Vice President and General Counsel. And you can see here that second interviews were completed by week 13 and another 4-week notice period. So that person was on board by the 18th. Here's another bit of a tighter timeline. This is the last case study here, by the way. Smaller company, $50 million software company for their automotive division, VP of sales, Director of Sales for the automotive division. We were able to get that final interviews done by the 9th week and then a 2-week notice period. All right, so this is the last slide, and so just some takeaways here. We have more expertise in the global automotive industry than any other firm. That's what we believe. We also have more expertise in Asia Pacific manufacturing sectors, including mainland China, where we've had an office since 2004 and have actually been recruiting since 2002 in mainland China. And then the surrounding areas, including Southeast Asia. The other thing is we have a lot of expertise in Mexico and maquiladora manufacturing. I wouldn't go so far as to say that we have more Mexico experience than any other firm. In fact, I have a good friend who has a career long experience with exclusively placing people in Mexico. So, but we do place a lot of people down in Mexico. The other thing is this point here, I can't actually prove this to you. I don't have any hard data regarding this, but we believe that we, through talking with over the years with a lot of other search professionals and colleagues around the world, different search firms, client companies, we believe that we have made more placement of leadership professionals in mainland China in the automotive industry than any other Western firm. So now keep in mind we are placing, for the most part, we're placing Chinese nationals or other people in China that have experience working for Western companies. So there would be some local Chinese firms that are placing people in China that maybe have made more placements than us, but we've made more placements for Western companies than any other Western firm. And we also have a very strong knowledge of industry, manufacturing industry specific systems, quality systems, sales strategies, etc. And that wraps it up. Thank you very much for tuning in and learning a little bit more about Tier 1 Executive Search.